Good afternoon. My name is Leslie Samuel Joshua, and I am here to interview you pertaining the skill that you teach at it.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I am Dr. Mercy Salami. I take the soft entrepreneurial skill for this evening.
Okay, ma'am, can you briefly introduce the skill you teach and its real world applications?
Like I said, I take soft entrepreneurial skill, and it's one of the skills that any entrepreneur must have in order to be successful. These skills are the skills you need to be able to navigate the business world. For example, in our skill, we learn how to write business plan and business proposals. We talk about how to build grants, how to do business analysis, how to do marketing research. And all these are very much important for an entrepreneur to know even before venturing into the business in order to stay aloof and to be at edge of other competitors.
That is a very brilliant response. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Very much. So why do you believe this skill is important for undergraduate students to learn?
Yeah, I believe so much in soft entrepreneurial skill because in this digital age, what makes you stand out is the ability to adapt quickly to the changing world. And this is what soft entrepreneurial skill will give you. It's very much important for undergraduates to actually have this skill before they even graduate because this is what actually differentiates the big businesses from the small ones. The difference between a big restaurant and just a cafeteria is the software entrepreneurial skill that the person is able to put in place in getting there to expand your business founder.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And what are the basic requirements and prerequisites needed to start learning this skill?
Yeah, for my own skill, I would say it's curiosity, willingness to learn. I used to tell my students it's not about you being able to have the physical rigor. It's the intellectual capacity that really is here. Ability to convince donors to give you grants, ability to convince marketers to come for your business. And these are what we have been doing. Like you met us in the class today. We saw my students developing websites, social media handles to publicize their business. These are things that regular businesses must put in place in order to stay. And so for me, creativity, curiosity, and intellect that we need to start doing this skill.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now, how long does it typically take for a complete beginner to become proficient?
Yeah, for my skill in the soft skill, it's a lifelong process because, like I said, we embrace the changing world. So the earlier you start, the better. But once you embrace the uh, current digital innovations that are available for you as a business person, take for instance, you have access to the knowledge where you can get the grant, how to write your grant, how to convince your marketers to come and patronize you. Then you are already getting success. Success for us in the social entrepreneurial skill is from scratch. So it doesn't really take too long, but you cannot finish learning it in a day. It's a lifelong learning process. We work on how best to deliver a service, and this cannot finish because the room that always expands is the room for change, and that is also entrepreneurial skill is all about in business.
That is a nice one, ma'am. Thank you very much. The last question is, what are the fundamental ABC steps in mastering the skills?
Okay, for us, first is the fact that you must be open-minded. You can't say, "Oh, this business, this item has been packaged. Okay, I want to go into fruit packaging, and usually packaged in, let's say, paper bags, and you are rigid." You must not be rigid. The first thing is open-mindedness. Okay, what's the new wave of things? How does customers want this thing delivered? What are the loopholes? So you must be open-minded. You must be very adaptive. You must be very resilient. You must be very curious. And you must be the type that is observational. You should not be blind to what is going on in the business world. You must be sure that know what's going on currently and how to beat your competitors. So those are the nitty-gritties of our own skill.
materials, tools, or software does a beginner need to start?
Okay, for us in the software entrepreneurs, it's usually advisable that you have your own computer. Because, for instance, we have cases where you have to develop um, uh, publicity materials. Like you saw my students today, they have business cards, they have flyers, yeah, generating paper for my business. So you need to have a system. Then another thing you need to know is you should have basic knowledge of graphics design. So these are things that you will not have to pay someone to develop your business flyer for you. We can use free and readily available site like Canva. You can use Canva to design your flyer. You just have to be creative in using it. Then also, for the software entrepreneur skill, you must be creative. You must be, creativity is the key thing for us. So you have a computer, an active phone, then you have some ICT skills that will help you to implement this skills.
So are these materials expensive or affordable for the average student?
Yeah, for me, I will say it's affordable. If you look at it at the initial phase, you might want to think it's expensive. But if you look at, for instance, if you get a good laptop, it's something you can use for an average of 5 years if you maintain it well. And if you look at the overall cost, for us, we don't just look at the cost as initial cost, we spread it over a year. For instance, you buy a laptop of, let's say, 400,000 naira, and you use it for like 5 years. If you divide that to months, the amount of that gadget is not enough. And what it can do to your business can be millions. So to us, it's not expensive. It's all about how you use it.
That is very true, ma'am. So can this skill be learned fully online or does it require physical practice?
Yes, for us, it's a kind of hybrid skill. There are a lot of things you can learn in your own online. Take, for instance, how to develop survey materials. You want to do market research. You just want to design a short questionnaire to ask your prospective customers what they need in the business and all. It's something you can just go on YouTube and learn how to create a simple questionnaire, how to design flyers. You can do that online. But the art of convincing individuals to buy into your business, that will require physical truth. And that is art, not a science. So soft skill is a combination of science and art. It's a science that used to propel the heart together, but that heart cannot take it anywhere. It's not entertainment skill.
So what is the structure of your training, like the modules, the duration, and the milestones?
Okay, for us, we have about 6 major modules. The first is we teach we have the first class usually goes to the class, the lecture class. And the lecture class is a kind of icebreaker because you believe an average individual is an entrepreneur in an environment. And you know, if an egg breaks from within, their life starts, but if it breaks from outside, that's a long place. So what we do for the first module is to crack the egg from within to make them know that any of you can be a business person. So the first class usually devote that to those things that they need to know, that they need to learn in entrepreneurship. The second module we usually have students trying to identify problems that can be solved with a business. This is because when your business is solving a problem, do not go out of stock. If businesses are just angry or just repeating what others are doing, that usually gets pushed out. Once you are solving a problem, you cannot go out of business. Then secondly, thirdly, we have the model that helps to to build students' confidence. So you see that today when you go to class, some students presenting their business plan. So in this, they have the confidence of how to write a successful business plan, which they usually do in class. They face the class, they present. They use the class as a lab to test how the real world reacts. Then we usually have co-creation of knowledge. I don't just teach verbatim to students. I allow them to evolve and to bring out some of their skills. And you notice some of them, they develop, even they design websites for themselves. They come up with flyers and brilliant ideas. So they have about 6 modules in all. And at the end of every training, most of them are usually better than before.
I can testify to that one because I saw what went on in the class today. What common challenge do beginners face while learning this skill?
Now, the first challenge they actually face while learning the skill is the shock. Most of them have this idea that they're going for just 301, it's practical. Oh, maybe I'll have to work in the soil, look for how to produce the products. Maybe I'll have to go to the market to get the raw materials to do my thing. So when they come and they find it soft, as the name implies, they're like, can I can I be earning money in a soft way that I don't really have to sweat? So that's the first thing that happens to them. And after that, they adjust because it helps them to build their intellectual capacity. So when you see them talking about business, they do very fantastic business analysis. So the challenge they have is they come with a very vague mind. Some of them don't even know what something like entrepreneurial skill is all about. But when they come in, they find out that it's something very related and easy to digest.
So how do you help students overcome these challenges?
Okay, how I help them overcome is that I do not take charge of the class as a teacher to students. We don't do that. What we do here is called production of knowledge. So I make them to come out of their shell, to bring out their creativity into business. For instance, I don't give them the targets. I just tell them, what do you think is a problem in those things that we can solve business? So by the time they start bringing out some business ideas from their mind, most of them, they relate so fine and they overcome those the initial shocks and concerns.
So what practical exercises or projects do you use to reinforce learning?
Okay, one of the things we do is that we ensure that every student actively participates in presentations, development of marketing tools like flyers, they design websites. You can even see some of them, they come to class with products and even a sample of the service they want to render. So once you're able to do this from scratch, then there's no business you can't venture into. Once you know about how to write the business plan to get the grant, you know how to convince customers to buy. You like some of the classes we have students develop adverts, jingles using sophisticated ICT gadgets to do this that are even fit enough to be used for real world adverts. So when students do this, it helps them to stand in. So most of them at the end of the class, they are able to start small businesses that can evolve over time by themselves.
So how do students build a strong portfolio for proof of competence with this skill?
Yeah, it's very straightforward. Like I said, you were in class today and you saw that some of them already have registered social media handles, Instagram for their business. Some of them they have websites for their business. They even have a way of incorporating registration processes. And this is what business is all about.
How do you now make money using this skill?
Okay, thank you very much. I can give two examples. One of them was my student that learned how to do graphics design. Like I said, we usually do pre-production of knowledge. So it's not as if it was blank when he came to me. But when he got to my class, he was able to utilize it to design flyer for business. So he knew that this is a business venture. So by the time he finished, he was able to go into arts of designing for people, designing flyers, and he makes passive income from that.
Okay. So what are the potential income ranges for students at the beginner level, the intermediate level, and the advanced level? What income should they expect, the ranges?
I might not be able to give range because it depends on the organization you are consulting for. If you are designing a flyer for your course and you are designing for a small business, the amount you will get differs. So for soft skills, you can't give a limit. You cannot give a range. Even as a beginner, if you are able to package yourself, you can land yourself a big grant. And all we do in soft skills is to ensure that you are able to leverage on opportunities available. So the sky is the limit for us in soft skills. We don't really have, unlike production, I would say, okay, for every 20 naira you spend, you get 30 naira back. This is entirely mixing art and science. So for a 10 naira input, you can get 10 million if you use it well and you get the right opportunity. So I may not be able to give a specific amount. Yeah.
So similarly, how much can a dedicated student realistically expect to earn within the first 3 months?
Like I said, we render service. We don't produce products per se. So you can go for an influencing opportunity and you sign a deal of 2.5 million naira right on the table. And you can do like 25 work and you won't have up to but so I can realistically I may not be able to tell you the amount. So like I tell my students, be open. Look for opportunities. You can never tell the amount you can raise, even for a first, for a beginner in a business. We are not like product oriented person. It's not service. Yes, it's an intersection of product and service. So like, I will not be able to give you specific amount.
So what are the startup costs involved in monetizing the skill?
For us, the main thing is just to get a laptop because there's no way you design and you will not need to have a personal laptop. You may, if you are even motivated enough, you might not have your personal laptop, but you might know how to manage by uh, borrowing from someone. When I started mine, I didn't have a laptop, but I know students that don't really have laptop. They just use a friend's laptop. Oh, can I get yourself for 1 hour? In an hour, they can design a flyer, and they get paid for the flyer. But by the time they have the personal laptop, then the kind of work, the volume of work that they can do will not be limited. So for a startup, I'll say just get a simple laptop. And for laptop, we have specifications ranging from even as low as 200,000 to over 1 million. So I think they should just put their quotes according to their material, not even size for the start up phase.
So what tools or resources are absolutely essential for any money with these skills?
It's laptop. Then when you have laptops usually have camera. If you have high resolution laptops that have sound camera, you can use to record yourself to do advertisements. You can use it for flyers, for jingles. You can use it to roll out marketing research. You can do market research for companies. So it's essentially laptop. Then when you are now done with having a laptop, then you may have some content creation kits like good camera, ring lights, tripod stand, and all that. But essentially, you have to a laptop.
I know you already answered saying laptop is the essential, but I'll still ask you this question. Can you break down the cost versus revenue for a beginner setting up the first project? Cost versus revenue.
Okay, if you're starting up and you're a beginner, for nice or good laptops, I think if you have, let's say, 500,000, you will get let me say, fairly used or UK used laptop. That will have high resolution in terms of camera and in terms of sound. So when you start with that, you can get uh, opportunities to influence for businesses. You can do high quality adverts for businesses. And within the first year, you can triple or even quadruple the amount you are first invested because if you're able to influence for 2 or 3 medium scale businesses, you can get like 2 million naira even in a year. And if you are influencing for bigger businesses, but like I said, if you are in last class where we had the first episode of this interview, you could see that they have social media presence. Some of these businesses might have to come from a social media presence and you do for them and you get to win. But in a year, you can get as high as times 4 of your investment or even times 10 because service cannot be restricted. You can have a show and you are paid 2 million naira for that just to promote your businesses.
That is really, really good. So, how profitable is this skill in the Nigerian environment right now and global markets as a whole?
It's extremely important and extremely profitable because Nigerians, we are the type that love change. We are the type that love variety. And that's the spice of salt interpreting our skill. If you're able to speak you get grants to do your business, you package it to, and you even advertise it yourself. You will notice that most of our Nollywood videos, they're usually having advert time. You can watch a video for 2 hours and see like 4 adverts. So that means if you're advertising, you are reaching a whole lot of content. So such entrepreneurial skill is very restricted, extremely profitable. Because you might decide not to even go into producing the service itself, but just enhancing. And that's really nice.
What are the top industries or sectors where this skill is in high demand?
Such entrepreneurial skill is in high demand in every. There is no sector that will need it.
Exactly.
Because there's no sector that doesn't need to know how to get grants, how to get money to move their business to the next level. There's no sector that doesn't want to advertise to expand their markets. There's no sector that doesn't want to beat the competitors in the market. So there's no sector. This skill, that's why it's called the soft skill. It is the overarching skill for any entrepreneur.
What opportunities exist for students to freelance using this skill?
Freelancing is a soft skill.
Yes, it is.
So it's just like you saying, how can you freelance in freelancing? Because we freelance.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah. You brand, you do the product yourself. Like you have an event to plan and you are the one that get the product. You do the branding yourself. You do the advert yourself. Then all the money comes to you. So it's basically a freelancing work. You are not restricted. You might just be there and say, all I will be doing is to be marketing businesses online. So you help people to promote their business and probably a percentage or 2% gets to you. So for as far as their business is booming, you are getting your money. So that's it.
Are there opportunities for students to work remotely or internationally?
That is so skill. That is so skill. We work remotely. You will notice my students have their websites already.
Yes.
Others can start coming from there. When you are producing, you video, you vlog it. After vlogging, you put on your social media space. You get orders from there. So it's essentially freelancing, remote, and when it arrives, physical service.
It's just because the only important thing you need is just your laptop. So it's
Yes.
just always remotely.
Yes, that is good.
How can students market themselves effectively after learning this skill?
Social media is internet. We even start marketing ourselves even before finishing the modules. So by the time you are done, all you need to do is to keep your handle active, your website active, and that's it. So it's AI enabled and it's internet friendly. That's what soft skills is all about. So you are not restricted.
What platforms are best for showcasing or selling this skill? And the social media platforms that are best for showcasing this skill?
Well, for us, we usually leverage on population. So for now, we know Instagram is topping, YouTube is topping, Facebook is topping. So once you're able to put out your adverts, your materials, your products to these top platforms, then you sell. Even WhatsApp status is even topping. So as free and as cheap as that is, once you have your data, you are an entrepreneur, you get your money. Yes. So you see a lot of people, they don't have shops. And yet they are making money. They just put those clothing that someone is selling in Lagos on their own status. Someone will pre-order. They will have their own charges, maybe 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira per order. So if they have like 10 order in one day, they have made 100,000 naira. So look at what they make in a month. So it's all about using the power of social media rightly. That's why it's soft.
And in this kind of skill, it is obvious that students will make some mistakes. Well, okay. So what mistakes do students often make when trying to monetize this skill?
The first one is plagiarism. Like I tell my students, you cannot want to brand the product by using an existing logo. Someone else's logo. You can't go to start a business and want to do a marketing research and just download to market survey instrument, another in what form. So plagiarism is one of the major outflows that students go there. It's we must avoid this errors. You cannot plagiarize. So essentially what you need is quality and standing out. You must be unique. It's that uniqueness that makes you to join. If you want to copy others, if you want to plagiarize, your business is like definitely.
So what advice do you give students who want to scale from small jobs to higher projects?
First, be creative. Second, don't limit yourself. Don't say, oh, for this guy, they already picked those they want to give. They will not give you. Who told you? Be creative enough. Always spell out the strength of your own business idea. Then be vocal. Attend summits. If you stay in your door, in your house, you won't meet donors. You go out. You go all out for it. You never can tell. Some summit you just say, okay, can we have students like the GSC 301 have a summit every year, the Tech has this summit. They usually have competition for startups and scale-ups. And there are prize awards for it. So I usually tell students, don't narrow your mind, oh, we are so many, 10,000, they won't pick me. Who told you? Try it. Be different, be unique. Spell out your strength. And the sky is just like it's all about. Yes, sir.
Is this skill future proof and how is it evolving in today's economy?
It's extremely future proof because we are actually living in the future. Because we are using AI to generate money. And we know that we are currently in the era of AI.
Yeah.
So any business that is moving with the tide, we definitely try. And we are actually moving with the tide. So
What advanced XYZ aspects of this skill should students aspire to learn?
I just tell students, we are currently in the era of AI. As at 10, 20, 30 years ago, AI was like a mirage and now it's real. It has come to us. In the next 20, 30, 40 years, if the world still exists and we are still here, then you move with whatever opportunity to showcase your business that is still available by then. So we usually have it as resilience, adaptability, and we also have it as adaptability. That's the key word. Being adaptable with the trend and the tide of things in the business world.
How long does it take to reach mastery or expert level competence in this skill?
Yeah, depending on your individual skill, we have different mental capacity because for us, it's your mental capacity is part of it. Someone can learn and gain mastery within a year, but some might take 3 years. But regardless of whatever or how long it's taking you, just ensure you are progressing. If you cannot run, please walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but don't stay on the same speed. That's just a trick.
So, what would a simple financial projection look like for a student running a small business with this skill?
Yeah, I usually tell students that don't be over ambitious so that you don't end up tensing of yourself. If you're moving at the rate of, okay, I'm moving at the rate of 50 or 100% increase every year, it's good. Take for instance, I'm investing 1 million naira. At the end of the year, I want to have between 1.5 or 2 million naira in a year. It's fine. If you are favored and you have like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 million naira, you would be encouraged and motivated. But if you have said, I want to move in at the rate of 1000%, okay, if I put 1 million naira, at the end of the year, I want to have 10 million, and you're not having it, you'll be feeling like a failure. And with that, the business will not thrive. But be realistic. Okay, this is not a magic. This is not a kind of gimmick that you're doing. It's an investment. Okay, if I put 1 million naira, at the end of the year, I'm able to get 1.5. Since it's not as if it's labor intensive, it's usually mental, then it's fine. But if you are getting more than that, then that is fine. So don't be over ambitious and don't be too optimistic.
I just learned something very important to apply in my personal business. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
What additional courses or related skill can complement this one?
Yeah, soft skill is a transdisciplinary skill. You will notice that it cuts across content creation, it cuts across web design, it cuts across graphics design, it cuts across some other aspects of entrepreneurial skills. So, as a soft entrepreneurial skill savvy person, you must have some knowledge of all these things I've mentioned. You must be able to create content. Say, for instance, you want to influence and you don't know how to probably act or how to vlog yourself or how to go about convincing people, or you want to get attention of the market, you don't know how to create awareness, then that would be a problem. So it's a transdisciplinary skill that cuts across. You notice that when you came, you want to ask me that am I a content creator trainer? When I start talking about lighting, that this way you should stay, I was even trying to give you some presentation tips that why not start this way and that. So that is also entrepreneurial skills very well. You must have this all round knowledge of whatever you want to do. So when you have all these complementary skills with the business you want to do, they will make you fulfilled.
So are there opportunities for students to start a business with this skill?
There are lots of opportunities
Everywhere.
everywhere. That's why you look at, I wouldn't want to mention big companies in Illinois that are soft entrepreneurs because it's not as if I'm advertising for them. You come, okay, I want to brand clothes, they are there. I want to send this thing to this, they are there. And they're making their money. So it's all they are not into production of the raw material. All they do is to add finished products together and get it for you.
What is the maximum income potential for someone who wants to become highly skilled?
I've said it. There's no limit. There is no limit. I cannot say this is the maximum you can have. And most businesses these days have evolved. Gone are the days that you say, okay, in photography, oh, maybe you just get this money. In photography, you can get millions of dollars if you get the right place to do it. So there's no restriction. I cannot say this is the maximum you can get. There's no maximum. And there's no minimum, depending on how you are rendering it and how you are rendering the service. And I used to tell people, at times when you render service, you start from free. When I started as I'm an entrepreneur, I am into catering. I package my catering. I plan events. And at the point I added photography. When I started, I started for free. When we have events in church, I'll just say, okay, yeah, let's package this gift for this person. So I just collect the cost a price and build it up. If you have 50,000, I don't just put 50,000 inside the envelope. Do something that the person will think, oh, this is 500,000. So I started that way, and after some time, I started having orders. Take this money, design anything you want for us. So as entrepreneurs, you don't start with, oh, this is the minimum amount I want to get. This is the maximum I'm supposed to get. No, you can even start rendering it for free. By the time your worth is discovered, people will chase after you to get it. To render the service.
That is very true. How can students continually improve and stay updated in this field?
Is by being adaptive. Just be adaptive. If we have moved from era of packaging with paper to nylon, move with them. If they move from nylon to biodegradables, move to them. They move from biodegradables to just move. Don't stay in one spot, because that change is what makes you to stand ahead, because change is constant.
What final advice would you give undergraduate students about learning and monetizing the skill?
I'll tell them to learn to earn. Learn to earn. Don't just be learning with the mind of, oh, one day when I now finish university, I'll get job. Yes, you get job. But to make it to be self-sufficient, you must be an earner yourself. So what I tell students is, regardless of whatever skill you have, add soft skill to it. If you're into carpentry, Don't just do the beautiful work. I put it in the corner of your street that people should come and buy. Vlog it from production to product. Put it on your social media handles. Tell them you can do delivery in any part of the nation once they are able to pay. So always add soft skill to anything you are doing. You are making here. Classify it. Why are you making hairs for? Are you doing it for only children? Be a specialist. So once you are adding soft skill to whatever you are doing, then you make it. That's it. So that's my action.
Last question, man. What should students do immediately after completing your training to start earning?
Immediately after completing, whatever you do, you use.
Hmm.
So whatever skill you have gathered, start using it. Don't say, oh, I don't know how to design some graphics now, and you leave it. If you leave it after 5 years, you may have to start from scratch. So just be doing it, be intentional. The little you have learned, public speaking, business plan proposal, be using it, be using those skills, be dropping things on that, and you see that you start make once there is a will, there will always be a way. So don't kill your will so that there will be a will.
With that, we have come to the end of this interview session. Thank you very much, man, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much too. It's my pleasure to have you.
Thank you, man.